And like that, the very first week of the vlog is done. The very first week of the year is done. This is episode 7. Um, and it's been a week of like making a lot of grandiose plans and really thinking about the future of this channel. Hopefully, eventually, things that I'd like to do are have Tuesdays be a day for I'm gonna release an extra episode with just about books that I've been reading. Thursdays are gonna be all about video games. Sundays will be a podcast recap because those are like the three big things I'm super into besides just talking. And uh, those are just like I'm slowly figuring those things out, and I'm really excited about that. So hold on to your diapies, babies. Uh, which is really the only quote that I can think of from Laura Regrets at any one point, and I think it's a pretty good motivator one. But I've done things like joined several vlogging communities on Facebook. I've created a channel video. I've been like reading about these guys who have basically helped out like YouTube creators, as well as other articles and other people, and like really paying attention to YouTube videos to see what they're doing. I downloaded Quick and Splice, which are from GoPro. They're basically video editing apps for your phone. Here's gonna be a burp. Excuse me. I've tried Movie Maker. It was okay. Tried Sony Vegas, which was pretty good. But with a vlog like this, I don't need a lot of fancy stuff. And honestly, it's been kind of difficult getting. I've been doing like shooting video throughout the day to try to use it for this end cap sort of, and I can never successfully get it onto my laptop. I was able to do that with the camera, but I don't have the DSLR is pretty huge. Phone is always going to be on you. Phone is always on me. It's just why I want to use it. So I went through a couple websites to figure out what they suggested in terms of apps to use to edit film. I got 10 written down, including Quick and Splice, and I'm just gonna try them all out. I might even review those guys just to give like this is what this is easy. I'm by no means an expert on this, but I do think that like a newbie's point of view. I do have some video editing background, but still relatively a newbie, and I think that I you can take my word for like whether this is easier to use, whether this isn't, how intuitive it is. So if you want to get started on your own sort of gratitude project, but my appreciation for today, my gratitude for today, is certain things have been connecting. I've been reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, understanding comics, and the few podcasts I've been listening to this week. WTF with Ta-Nehisi Coates. I think that's how you pronounce it. Really, you're really gonna oh, I don't know if it's pronounced it. If I just said it with confidence, I'm sure we would. Never mind. Make a comment about it. Whatever. Uh, and I was just listening to the most recent Minority Corner where they had Shannon Ogole. He runs something called 100 Days of Gratitude. It's a Facebook group, as well as being the podcast host for Soul Warriors. And they were talking about 100 Days of Gratitude, which is this idea that Shannon was he was feeling there was a lot of sadness. There's a lot of sadness in his life at the time, and experiencing what he calls scarcity, which is this almost idea of like, and the subtle art of not giving a fuck really goes into this of we feel like there's things missing in our lives, like we're not rich enough, we're not smart enough, we're not beautiful enough. All three of those things are completely not true for me because I got all of that stuff going on. Maybe not the riches, but I am definitely beautiful. Could be a lot smarter though. could have a lot more perspective, but growing as a person. I digress. Tangents upon tangents upon tangents. Oscar stretching in the background. Um, we talked about like we have sometimes we fall into a pit sometimes in life, and we don't think we're good enough. That is what this whole vlog is kind of about. As I'm sharing these things about any minor thing about my life that is sort of giving me a boost. It's not like this is what's getting me through the day. This is what's making me appreciate my day and my life a lot more. Um, and I've noticed that for man, probably the biggest gratitude I've got, another burp, excuse me, is that I get very anxious about time, thinking about death is right around the corner, and another burp. Please don't let that take away from the sincerity of what I'm about to say. I get really anxious. Like, oh man, I should be doing more. I should be reading a ton of books. I should be writing. I should be, doing this and that and this and that, like learning skills. Don't go to bed and get, 8 hours of sleep. Sleep 5 hours if it means I get to like take in more. And doing the vlog, even though I'm playing less video games. I'm reading about the same amount, maybe even more, because I've been making a point to do that. But I've been feeling less anxious about time, especially when I think that, because whenever I feel like, oh man, this year has already gone off with a bang, like with a start, and then I realize I've only made 7 videos. This is video number 7. Um, I've only made so many videos. Like I can actually like really count the days by the 5 to 15 minute videos I've been making. It has really calmed me down in a very satisfying way. I really hope that like sharing these gratitudes and appreciation. I don't know. It's really like mellowing me out. It's funny how quickly this has worked, and they talk about it more on the podcast. This Minority Corner, Corner spelled with a K. Highly suggest is one of my favorite podcasts that I've found, like one of my highlights of 2017. Uh, there will hopefully be a video of that soon. We'll be working on that stuff. But yeah, like what have you guys got going on in terms of what are you appreciating today, and what is it that makes you feel like mostly anxious? Like I said, the thing that makes me anxious most is time, thinking that there's some sort of like clear defining endpoint, and that every second that comes by is like, well, I had 50 years, now I have 49 years, 12, 11 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, and like 3 seconds left. Man, that does not work out if you did it. But share it, I mean, I think one thing I think we sometimes our biggest fears aren't very conceptual. They're very like in our own heads, and we don't say it out loud because it sounds silly. But I like trust me on this. There's like 5 things that people are all afraid of. We're all afraid of dying, for instance. And we all try to like distract ourselves from it. We try not to talk about it, and you feel silly being worried about it. But I remember being like 3 years old, and while other parents had to deal with their kids uh, being worried about like monsters under the bed or in the closet, my parents had to deal with me having existential crises at the age of 3 and thinking like, man, I'm gonna die one day. Well, how do you calm a toddler like that? I've basically been just trying my life as fulfilling as possible, but I think having these gratitude sessions has really helped out. So please leave those comments down below. Uh, Talk about it with your friends, with your family, about like the things you just appreciate today. What are some of those fears or things that make you anxious? Please share them. And as always, please share this video as well as all the other videos, and absolutely please subscribe. This is a journey that we are taking together, and I hope